Hi, Jim Berthold here from OLI Systems with another video on technical support. This week's video is about using the MSE-SRK thermodynamic framework inside of Unisim Design. For today's example, we're using Unisim Design R480, though this technique applies to all Unisim Design versions up through R480. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is we need to create a case file. This is a little bit of review for those of you who don't know how to use the OLI Engine in Unisim Design. So we're going to create a new case. And we always start by adding a fluid package. Oops, that's the wrong fluid package. We'll go ahead and add it. And we're going to go find the OLI electrolyte fluid package. Okay. Now, to enable MSE-SRK, it actually needs the MSE flag. So we're going to go ahead and enable it here. At this point, we could add our components and do other things. So we're going to just go ahead and click View. There are other paths to this point, but we'll go ahead and click View. We're going to start off with the OLI electrolyte category. Now we have to enable the database. There are other videos on how to enable the database, but we're going to go ahead and review them briefly here. We're going to do that by clicking the Additional Database button. There is one pre-installed database, that's the Geochemical MSE database, just called GEMSE, but we have to do some other work. Okay, so we need to find the MSE-SRK database. OLI installs a lot of its private databases, which we call system databases, in a folder called OLI Systems. This will be on your hard drive in the Program Data folder. If you don't have access to program data, and by the way, everybody does have access to this, it means that you have it turned off. It's hidden. This is normally a hidden folder here. So you would have to turn on hidden items to see it. I've already done that. So we're actually going to go into the database. This is into OLI Systems. And now we're going to go into databanks. This video is actually being created with the development of our version 11 software, which is coming out in the near future. But we're not going to use that right now. We're going to use version 10 as our example. So we're going to click on it. For very old, archaic reasons, the first three letters of any database being used in a file have to be unique. So we can't use the name MSE-SRK because we already have a database called MSC Pub. This is the main MSC thermodynamic database. It already starts with the letters MSC. So what we've had to do here is rename it. So the actual database name is SRK MSC. Now for Unisim Design, we also put a file called the dictionary file. This is just so the interface is able to work, and we don't really need to know that, but this is actually going to be the file we're going to use. But what we do need to do now is copy the path of this folder. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy the entire path. I just highlighted it and pressed Control-C, and now it's in a path. Now I'm going to go back to Unisim Design. I need to enter the path name here in this little box down here. It doesn't scroll, so I'm just going to highlight it, and you can see, in fact, it has that path. Now I need to put the name of the database. This is actually the name of the DIC file, the dictionary file, and I'm going to type in, SRK MSE. And then finally, I need to enable it. Okay. This is now going to use the specialized thermodynamics for high pressure and moderate temperature calculations, mostly for upstream oil and gas. When I click that, okay, what you can't see, and I have to wait for my cursor to stop, is actually building a library of materials. You can see everything is blanked out. It is actually done now. If I can grab that, there we go up here. Okay, so it actually gives you a couple messages here, but it says it was reading the pure components database. This is an indication that it has actually brought these species in. So we're actually going to create a real quick case here. We always add water, so I'm just going to head and press H2O. and it added it. I'm going to put in methane, which I think is spelled methane. Nope, maybe not. CH4 is methane. And CO2. Very typical things we would find. We might also find calcium carbonate, although that won't be important for this example. So we're actually going to go ahead and create the case. This is how you would normally do it in Unisim Design. We're going to enter the simulation environment. Okay. We're going to create a stream. And again, nothing here is new. It's going to be a very simple stream, 25 degrees, 101.325 kilopascals. I'm going to go and add some composition. I think in moles, so I'm going to use moles, but you could use any unit you want. And I'm going to add 55 moles of water, approximately a kilogram, a little bit of methane, a little bit of carbon dioxide, and a little bit of calcium carbonate. Doesn't really matter what we're adding here. Program converges very quickly. How you use the MSE-SRK thermodynamic framework inside of Unisim Design using the OLI Engine. If you have any questions, please contact us via the portal at portal.olisystems.com. Thank you.